Hi YouTube. Here's a quick review video on the Greenworks 80 volt Pro snowblower. This is a 22-inch snowblower, and I picked it up from Costco. Here's the Costco item number. The reason I prefer to buy these kind of products from Costco is because they typically give you a better deal, not just on the tool, but also their packaging typically has extra batteries in them. And batteries, as we all know, with electrical products, tend to be expensive, especially the lithium-ion batteries. So this one gives you two batteries along with the basic tool, and of course it has the charger as well. So as you can see, two 80 volt 4 amps battery, and you have the charger as well. It's a 60-minute recharge time, and it claims to clear up a 6-car driveway per charge. I think this is something you gotta, take it with a pinch of salt, because it depends on the snow conditions and how the tool is getting used and under what circumstances. So this, in my opinion, can be a variable. But as you can see here, this particular product has a brushless motor, longer life, less maintenance. It says dual battery power head without a switch. It automatically transitions to the second battery for extended runtime. And then you have the push button start, which is great. So no cords or other strings to pull to get the thing going, especially in a gas powered blower. And then you have a 50-degree adjustable deflector to deflect the snow, obviously. And then you have a 35 feet max discharge distance. And of course, this also is a variable because it depends on how wet the snow is. And then you have a 180-degree rotating chute, and so that'll throw the snow over. And then you have a 22-inch clearing width, which is basically this distance right here. And then it says rotation handle, dual LED headlights. I think this is a great feature because especially if you are doing it during the evenings or early in the morning when there's might be limited sunlight, having headlights available to you is great. 13-inch clearing depth, so that's basically from up here all the way to the ground. So that's 13 inches. So if the snow is piled up taller, then it might be a problem for the snowblower to work. So if you have this, consider it has limits, obviously, on how deep the snow is that it can deal with. But I would say for most occasions, this would be adequate. And then you have the folding handles with oversized latches. Of course, this thing can be folded down, so it takes up less space during storage, I guess. And then you have variable speed impeller control, and the chute cleaning brush effortlessly clears snows built up from the chute, right? So that's basically the feature set on this. So now let's just open this up and see what it contains. But the other thing that I want to mention in the video is its weight. So this thing is not exactly light. So you can see it's about 87 pounds. So it does recommend that you have a couple of people to handle the box. Obviously not during the actual use of the machine, but while it's in the box, it is kind of heavy. And then, out here, it also talks about the 4-year tool warranty and the 4-year battery warranty. So you do get a pretty decent battery or the overall warranty with it. Okay, so as I open the box, basically you have everything packed neatly inside, and it comes with this little package. We'll see what that contains, but let's just take out the whole thing and show you what it contains. Okay, so once you have taken everything out of the box, this is what you should see. There's this part, a couple of those, and they're all in their individual sleeves, by the way. I took up everything out to show you clearly. There is this part. You should see 2 batteries. Well, and we'll fix, or assemble all of this in the video, so you'll see the step-by-step approach too. But you should see these parts laid out, okay? So then you have these 2 batteries, the charger, and then the main unit itself. There is this part that is kind of dangling from the wires. We should also be there. But yeah, like I said, everything was in its sleeves. I just took out all the plastic and the cardboard material out to show you what you should expect to see once everything is out of the box. So one of the things I forgot to mention is that you should also see this bag of some smaller parts that should be part of your package. And this is what the package should contain. It'll contain these two parts, four screws, these two long screws with their nuts over here. And then also this plastic piece. Looks more like a scraper. And these two parts right here. So this is what comes in that plastic bag. Let's take a quick look at the Greenworks Pro 80 volt charger and battery. So in this particular package, you have basically got two batteries, and it comes with a single charger, but it can handle dual charging. So you can see it says 1 and 2 right here. So you could simultaneously charge both your batteries on here. And on the battery itself, there is a button provided here which you can press and see how much charge there is. So if you see a single green light here, that means the charge is less than 25%. And if nothing lights up, that basically means that the battery needs immediate recharging and is below the 25% threshold. So if it's glowing one green, that means it's at around 25% or a little over 25%. And then simultaneously it grows all the way to 4 green lights, and that basically tells you it's got over 80% charge with the 4 lights. So that's what this thing indicates. The battery style has changed. In the previous model, it looked a little different, but they're both compatible with both Greenworks tools, regardless of what kind of tool you have. So even the newer battery model is compatible with the older tools and the charger as well. So both the batteries are obviously identical, and this one also shows around that 25-30% charge, so which means both. And this is how it came in the box, by the way. So it needs charging once you open the box, and all you're going to do is slot this in. So you will notice that this is where the slots are, and there are these. I think these are fans that are built here to keep the battery cool while it charges. And on here you'll see, here are the slots which basically pop right here. So this is the female part and that's the male part. And all you'll need to do is, take this part in, slide it over, and just press it down, and it should start charging almost immediately. So as it's charging, you do the same on the other side. And as you can hear, the fan starts blowing to cool down the battery as it's charging. So I can put both in, and now both my batteries are charging, as you can see. And down below, you can see there are some indicators. So if the battery or the lights here are flashing red, it basically means that the battery is bad, something's wrong with the battery. If it's a solid red light, it basically means that your battery has heated up, and it probably needs to be cooled down for 30 odd minutes before you can start charging it again. If it's a solid green light, it basically means that the charging is over. And if it's flashing, as you can see here, it basically means that the charging process is going on. And on the top, this is what you'll see. So anyway, that's how the battery charging really works on this unit. Next step is to now assemble this thing. Okay, so the first step will be to install the handles. And so this is what you should see, what came out of the box. The other one is going to be already attached to the cable on the right side, so you can't really mess that up. But this one, which is coming loose, is the one that goes on first. And the way to do this is to use this along with one of these parts that came with it. So you need to sort of, use one of these to actually attach it. So let's see what the steps are next. So the first step would be to install this part right here. The other one over here is already attached to the cord, so it's hard to mess up. But the one that comes loose is what you want to attach as the lower part of the handle. And you'll notice that there's a hole built in right here. And what we'll need to do is there's a hole here. I will basically put in this tool provided here to attach it, directly on as the lower handle. So all you'll need to do is take this part, take out this part here. There's a little spacer that is provided. So you're taking out the spacer as well. We'll put that aside. And you want to make sure that, once you have done the installation, it should come out in this direction. So this is important. So it should, when you insert this in, this part right here, and not the flush one, right? The one that has these gaps should go in this direction, and you are going to put this in like so. And when you do the installation, this part has to go in all the way down below. And once you have done that, you're going to come on this side, put the spacer in first, this right here, and then take this part and make sure that you don't put this part in first. It's got to be this part right here, and you're going to tighten it. And you want to tighten it only as far as this thing will come out this way. So if it gets stuck, you want to tighten this up or loosen this up a little bit so that it can actually, come out like so. Like that, right? So this is how much you want to really, and so you'll notice that on this side, the optimum length would be that it'll become flush. Typically, this is what you want to see, so that it becomes loose, and then you can tighten it up if you want. So that's the first part of installing the lower handle. We're going to do the same thing on the other side, so let's do that next. Okay, so the next step is to repeat the same step or same process on the other side. And for doing that, we'll do the same thing out here. So you're going to place it like so, and of course you've got to take this out and the spacer as well, and we are going to insert this right here, and then put the spacer in, and again make sure that you're inserting this nut in the right direction, and we are going to start tightening this up. Okay, so same thing you got to do when you're doing the installation. Make sure that this is all the way down below here, and once we have done, we should be able to extend it. But when you start tightening this up, it should be in this lower position, and then we start tightening it up. Okay, so once you have tightened this up, it should be flush out here, and you should, just make sure that this part is flush. And when you do that, this should come all the way. It should be a little bit of a snug fit because it's really, making the handles fit in snugly. And so you want to, push this out this way on both directions. And so once you have done that, your lower part of your handle is now secure, and we're going to go to the next step of installing the upper part of the handle. Okay, so installing the upper part of the handle, we are going to make use of these fly nuts, and there are 2 of them supplied, and so we'll make use of one at a time. So the first step to do this is to take this piece here and line it up properly. I believe this is the position it will be in, and we are going to slide it right in on either side. So once we have done that, we're going to make use of these wing nuts, and we are going to put this aside, put this into this hole, and it should go in snug. So it should, you'll see that this thing is tapered a little bit, and so you want to keep it flush. So it should be, this is not exactly flat, it's tapered because of the curve of the handle. So you want to, make it flush, and then all we do is tighten it using these wing nuts. I like to keep it flush in this direction. So you got to do that on this end, and we got to do it the same way on the other end. And so you can see, here what I was talking about, it's made a little bit angled in this direction. So you want to install it in a way that it's, a little bit flush to the, so once I've done that, that's the direction you want to, keep this in, the long way of how this is. So next step is to now, tighten it up at the bottom. So let's do that next. There we go. So now our handle is installed properly, and the next step is to now install the chute at the very top. So let's do that next. Okay, so the next step is to install the chute rotation box, and this piece actually allows you to switch the direction of where the snow is going to be blown onto the chute. So this part is going to go onto the handlebar here. To do that, you're going to make sure that this lines up according to these holes. So we are going to line it up like so, and then on the other, you would notice that this nut here is going to go flush into this. So we're going to hold it right here and then insert it from the top, and then we are going to simply screw this in. Just do that with your fingers, or just finger tighten it enough. So we do the next one. And so again, this is going to go onto this side here. You can hold it using a finger, and then on the other side, it would allow you to push this in. So to do that, we're gonna align and then simply, throw this right in and start tightening this up. Now, we have hand tightened it, but you will need a Phillips screwdriver. This is the only part where I believe you need a tool. So we are going to take a Phillips screwdriver and tighten this up next. Okay, so all we're going to do is hold the nut at the bottom. So I'm using my other hand to hold it. And then you're going to use a Phillips screwdriver here to tighten this whole thing down. And with that, this step is over. Let's move on to the next step. Okay, so the next step is to install this chute itself. And for doing that, we are going to make use of these screws provided. The package actually comes with 4, but we are going to make use of only 2. The other 2 are a spare. So I'm going to put these 2 aside and start with the installation process. It should be pretty simple. All you need to do is line it up in this direction. So you would see that there are these notches, and they go right into this slot. And these holes right here are going to line up with that hole. See, that's what you want to make sure. And so once you have done that, we are going to make use of these screws, put them into the holes, and using a Phillips screwdriver, we are going to secure the whole thing. Okay, so now we are going to simply hand tighten it all the way in on both sides. Okay, so after your installation is done, you want to make sure that it's installed properly. And really to check this, as you notice here, if I push this down, it should go to the left, and it is on the left. And if I push it up, it should go to the right. So now let's test it. If I pull it up, it should go to the right. And when I push it down, it goes on to the left, which means our installation is done properly. Okay, so the next step is to actually secure these cables. Mind you, this thing is not going to be part of the securing process, neither this one. All we are doing is securing the cables that are attached to the chute lever. So to do that, you'll see that there are a couple of these notches available to you in plastic, and it simply slides in, and it should be secured in that way, so that the only 2 cables exposed is this one and this one, but not the one that is connecting it to the chute lever. Okay, so while we were doing the installation or the assembly of the unit, I went ahead and charged these batteries, and as you can see, they are both fully charged because I see solid green now on both units. And with this particular unit, because it accepts 2 batteries, it gives us the redundancy of power, so for a longer job, we won't run out of power easily. And that's what I like about this unit. So you'll notice that down below, there's the female part. And here on the battery is that's the male part. And this is on the battery is the female part. And you gotta line those up before it goes in. And you'll notice there is this knob here that actually secures the battery in. And so we are going to line this up. Should be pretty simple. All you're doing is sliding them in. And once that's there, you're going to click it, and you should hear that click. I'll do the other one. You should hear the click again. So you place it there and gently press it. And you should hear the click. And now both our batteries are in here, and I close it and it's ready for the job. Okay, so the next step after the whole assembly is completed for the main snowblower itself is to install this scraper and brush that has been given. So in order to install this, the first step is to, this is where you're going to attach it to the main handle here, but I'm going to put that aside for a moment. And you'll see the scraper piece here and the brush. And so all you got to do is line this up. And you'll see this hole in this thing, and it snaps right in. So you install that like so, and simply slot it in, and now it's ready to go. So it's basically acting as your scraper, very much similar to what you have in a car. And this thing is going to get installed and stay in like this. And in order to do that, we are going to install the clips that it came with. And so let's now install the clips. Okay, so to do this, I'm going to simply take out this little screw here and, make sure that it goes right on top like so. And we are going to, put this in. And this thing again is shaped in the same way on the other side. So we are going to simply, place that in first. And simply start screwing it in. So the next step is to simply take a Phillips screwdriver and hand tighten it while you hold the nut from the other end. We are going to basically just hand tighten it. We don't need this super tight, simply enough that it won't fall off. Right, we're gonna do the exact same thing on the other end, and you gotta make sure that they're both lined up in the same way and not like that, because it won't line up, both of these. So we gotta line it up the same way, and we're gonna push it right there on the hole, and hold this on the other end, like we said with the previous one, and simply start pushing this down the hole. Okay, so then once it's lined up, we are going to similarly screw this in. And basically just hand tighten it. Okay, so once we have installed these two parts here, this should basically just slide in this position. You want to make sure this part is on top or the other way. I don't think it's going to matter a whole lot, but I prefer it this way, so the brush is not going to hit my hand. So you're going to slot this in, put that in, and now our cleaning tool is part of the unit. It's not going to be missed or get misplaced, because it's part of the unit. And this design I really appreciate. This thing, by the way, is going to be helped in clearing the chute, and if there's any snow attached. Mind you, before you start using this tool to clear out any chute from the auger at the top or down here, you want to make sure that the unit has completely come to a full stop before you start inserting this in to clean anything. So that's a safety caution. But yeah, basically our assembly is pretty much over, and the unit is ready for clearing out snow. Okay, so in order to operate the unit, obviously I'm doing this indoors, but I'm going to show you exactly how this works. This lever here is the drive speed, so how hard you want the auger to move. So the drive speed is controlled using this. So the more you turn it in the front, you're increasing the speed, and the more you want it slow, you push it towards your own side. This button is actually the start button, so it's going to help you to actually start the whole thing, the motor. And this lever here is what keeps it running. So if you release it, just like in a grass lawnmower, you're going to release it, and then obviously the unit cuts off power. So in order to now start this, I'm going to bend it over so I'm not going to scrape my rug down below. And so what I'm going to do now is simply press this button and then start it. And you can see it's actually moving the auger at the top. So if I want that speed to go up, I'm going to actually move this lever over here to the front. And you can see it's increasing the speed. So the moment this is at the top speed, obviously, so you can see that going. And if I push it back up, it slows down. So all I need to do is now release this lever if I want the unit to come to a stop. So now it has come to a stop. So, and you probably noticed the lights going as well. So yeah, that's how this unit actually works. So the next step is now to actually go out and clear some snow. Fortunately, we do have snow out there today. It is evening over here since the sun sets early and we don't have a lot of light, but we will give it a go and see how much it clears. We have had some good amount of snow out there. So now let's take this out and give it a go. Okay, so as you can see, we have a good amount of snow on our driveway. And I'm going to show you how deep the snow is. So I have a measuring stick here. So if I push this in, you can see it's exactly 6 inches of snow is what we're going to be dealing with today in this test. And we have a pretty decent sized driveway as well. So let's now give it a go and see how the results show up. Okay, so now let's see how this thing operates and works. So all I'm going to do is push the button in, push it out, and let's see how it goes. Okay, so after clearing out the driveway using this, I would say for this kind of snow that we had today, so it was almost 6 inches as you saw, and was pretty wet and heavy snow. This snowblower could not deal with this type of snow. So in a heavy snowfall situation, in a heavy snowstorm situation, you probably need something more heavy duty than something like this. On the whole, it's not a bad snowblower, but it's just not rated for this kind of snow that I had to deal with today. So you can see I had to basically shovel the whole thing today. Couldn't really get the job done using the snowblower completely. So that's my review on the snowblower. I think it's a decent snowblower for a light to medium duty snow. But if you have something really strong like we did today, you would probably not be able to get the job completely done with this. If you like this content, please subscribe to the channel and like the video, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care. Bye-bye.